Swedes have the initiative and jump into charge, launching forward, and, well, they lost one unit to Dworth here. I got kind of confused and attacked my own unit and had to fix that, which changed things. I may have screwed something up, but we've got a attack succeeding, well, not succeeding, but movement up here. There was counter charge, which is this unit here, fleeing. Good. With these, yeah. By putting the counters on top, is why I got confused. I know I get yelled at for that, but the truth of the matter is if I put them underneath, I don't realize all the effects. I'm just very used to putting strength point counters underneath things and all the other informational counters from any kind of game on top, and just kind of getting used to that. And it sometimes leaves the picture kind of leaving something to be desired here. One important factor, the Swedes did not come in this turn. They needed a 0 to do so. They pushed forward. And numerically, we're not seeing anything too good here. They didn't get a continuation, even throwing Bernard into the full modifier there. The Imperials here under Gallus, and I think those are just regular Imperial troops as opposed to our Bavarians here. We also have Spaniards in this game coming in over on, available on this next turn. They slipped into charge, only struck once. They have kind of some reforming to do, which makes this kind of difficult, but they want to put some pressure on the Swedes. The Swedes are a little broken up right now. That's the end of the turn. Slip over here. And, well, we get to see if the Swedes come in. And we also get to choose whether or not to commit some of them Spaniards. I think I'd like to, but I'm not sure. I'll have to look to see where they come in and if I really have to make my decision now. Because if they come in down here, or maybe down here or something, or in the north, but I suspect they're going to come in way back there, and that's it's going to be a ways to get them in. That 20 points, though, helps me control the territory. There's a lot more than 20 points of land that I can control. And I'm really worried these guys have to come in, and they can just mop the floor with the Catholic troops. Or, sorry, the Protestant. No, the Catholic troops. Getting confused. Alright, well, the Catholics are choosing to come in with one, Duke Charles. He's got the better leadership rating, so that's more interesting. I can push this one forward. I still have the option on him for 20 points. We'll see. But the Swedish Cav wing is coming in. Who's this? Oh boy, Shawelitsky. Yeah, right. And he also is going to be in make ready, I guess. It's not specified, but normally you can bring them in as make ready, so it's probably the best that I can do here. Well, it's going to get kind of bloodier and more interesting, I guess. Oh my, what a mess. So I screwed up. Again, no big shock. The Swedes dropped themselves into rally. Now that's always a dangerous thing to do. But in one of these Cav battles, man, it was really taking a risk. It means you can't countercharge, so I got hit, and I think I may have lost a unit. But this guy got hit by both, or no, by two units, one that's gone now, and ended up destroying that one. Now, Gallus here also dropped into rally, you can see, and started fixing his things, but he got two momentums. I didn't try to preempt that at all. Now we got this big Swedish force coming in from the rear as the next action. No, yeah, because I rolled and got the Swedes as the first for the action. So these guys go before them, even though his leadership is not as effective as his. Alright, that's the end of the turn. Still got more Spaniards if I want them. We get the Swedes coming in over here, the Spaniards over here. Not much happening here, just a reforming action, really. Got to do an extra rally over there, though, because of bringing another column in. Only the Swedes have an army commander on the field with Bernard. I think he drops down below army command for the main battle. But for this particular scenario, he is the army commander. He becomes the backup army commander. And having someone that good is very, very effective actually, because you have a lot of choices with your army commander. You know, I mean, I'm just using him to rally right now, but that extra -2, he can go stack with someone I really need a continuation for, or that I want to switch formations or something. Hopefully not to rally next time in the front line. But we've got these guys in rally too, so that kind of takes some of the pressure off. They had to recover. Now the Swedes are coming around the back here. These guys are in open order because of these streams. That's going to cause them problems. And of course that makes it, the Swedes could charge across. They'd end up formation shake and attacking that way. It might be the best situation. It's kind of hard to tell what to do because everything's kind of, you know, disassociated from each other. We got some Swedes over here. We got two little lines of the Catholic Cav, and then another up here, and then this big force of Swedes over here. And I kind of want to send about half of it this way and keep some of it screening that, wipe these guys out, and then combine everything and head after those. But that's not necessarily the easiest thing to do. It's not necessarily impossible because Cav has a wide range for command. They're able to go 3 hexes between units. Right now we're in a point I don't usually show the midst of a charge. We have, mainly because usually it's very, very chaotic. But here you can see all the Catholics are interception done. They failed their interception checks. The first segment of the charge was countercharged, and in both directions actually. But the Swedes brushed aside that opposition, in fact knocking De Werth off the map, and he may be dead. But this, we just have tons of momentum charges and attacks on a morale broken unit. We're going to destroy the Spaniards as far as I'm concerned. Now, still got a couple of units here screening that side, and Bernard's side, and Kratz or whatever, are a fair match for what they're facing because De Werth is now out of commission. He's only got 1 unit left anyway, which also failed an interception. Well, mixed results on the second, on the charge that you saw placed, that second charge. At least 1 unit got knocked back. There was a countercharge. That's this unit back here, a Catholic countercharge, or yeah, a Catholic countercharge that the Swedes then routed afterwards with a 3rd round. It was sitting in front of a unit that could attack it. Dropped into make ready to prepare ourselves again. The Spaniards are in trouble. They're pretty much routed at this point. We got 1 unit that's not. They're going to fall into a rally next time they get an action, but it was not as dramatic as I had hoped with that big sweep of a charge. Let's see where we end up next. It looks like the Swedes just went, so we're going to go to this rally because he's gone now. And during the cleanup phase, the Duke of Lorraine ran off the map. Nobody pursuing him, he just ran off with his troops. So he's now here too. And that brings up something John, who often watches these, and I'm sure will watch this one as well, brought up about my vids, how many casualties I get. Well, those casualties may not mean deaths. They could be significant wounds, they could be fleeing the battle, they could be a lot of different things. So, I don't know, but I seem to get more than to be expected. This battle's been pretty good. I gotta check these guys. Let me check Charles first. Yeah, he's gone. And our other buddy there, Worth, is gone too. That's not good. That means I gotta dig myself up a couple of colonels here. And I don't think I have any Spanish colonels. I could use a Saxon or an Imperial. That's interesting. I bet you there are Spaniards. I'll look for them. This is an interesting game in the sense that, well, it's different from the series. Most of the series has counters for every battle, for every unit in every battle. This one kind of uses some, and in fact, we've gone towards having colonels or unnamed leaders for every battle, for every possible place that we saw in Saints in Armor. This one shares leaders among battles, and it shares even units among battles, which can make it kind of a little bit more difficult. It's really easy to throw things in a bag. I think I've got duplicate counters that came in some of the other games in the series, and perhaps some come in C3I magazines as well. There's just ways of getting, you know, the replacements that you need or the excess stuff that you need for the game by collecting the whole series, essentially. Just like you can get rules to play Lion of the North using the series and counters in this game, which is kind of cool. And we go through a rather quick 8th turn. The Swedes did not get their reinforcements yet. It's kind of a sliding scale, so last turn they only got it on a 0-1, next turn 0-3, next turn 0-6. The Catholics brought in another column of Spaniards. That's 40 points they're back now. The reason is, again, it looks like they're going to get wiped off the board if they don't bring these in. So they're paying more and more points to prevent the land from falling into the Swedish hands. I think they're pretty much guaranteed a loss here. This was almost entirely, in fact it was entirely, a reforming turn for everyone. We had these guys in rally. Back here, stayed in receive charge. How did this move up so fast? That's not so far ahead. This is stayed in receive charge. This guy switched up to a make ready formation. He's perfectly fine. He actually had a continuation. Could have maybe gone into charge, but he doesn't want to just hit something. It doesn't do him a lot of good, although there's kind of a neat advantage that he has in being able to do advancing fire maybe and start engaging a unit, which probably would have been a good idea. Let me see. Yeah, he would have been able to get into charge. Let me do that. Doesn't really affect much. No, but this thing's got. Nah, leave it be. I don't want to trade shots. The main reason for that is why he's not charging. One, there's not a lot of him, but also the Catholics want stalemate. They don't necessarily want to resolve this battle at this point, especially on this flank where they feel a little weak. They've now got a full command up here again, a fresh command up there, which is a little stronger, but I don't know. Anyway, got a couple more turns left. Well, it's as though the entire battle's just stopped. We had a little, these guys dropped into charge, and you can see we got a damaged unit there. It charged across, hitting across the stream. It was at a 0 rating. The rest of these, well, I slipped them into receive charge so I can try to slip around the stream and do something. Basically, the Catholics aren't particularly looking to engage anymore. They're looking, although they probably should, because if you look at the points, it looks like the Swedes are ahead even on points now, and the Catholics have to take advantage of, well, their numerical near parity at this point. I don't know. They took a lot of hurt with that second column there, but most of the rest of the units couldn't get out of their simple rallying type situations, either rally or receive charge. This Catholic unit still doesn't want to advance, still in make ready. I'm trying to prepare these guys. The arquebusters continue firing into there when, you know, they watch the Swedes reforming in front of them and loading pistols. Swedes aren't returning fire when they get an opportunity fire of the same nature, because they're looking at launching an attack across the board. Yeah, I got a lovely neighbor. Anyway, we did have one leader end up on the injured list, and he's going to be out for the battle, so I gotta find myself a colonel for that. I don't know where to put him. Put him over there. That ended up knocking out the ability of this unit to do anything at all. And here at the end of 9, we got one more turn left, but this game has really taken a strange sort of turn for me that I'm not used to. Basically, people don't want to engage. Now, we have this column of infantry coming up here. But the Swedes haven't been able to get into the charge that they wanted for this side. Now they've sent the light infantry up. They're going to go claim this hex. They got these 2 hexes. This one's close. They can get it fairly easily. They can get the 2 hexes up here. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of 9 bonus hexes. Right now the Swedes are really to the advantage. But the the Catholics have kind of been, we haven't lost these territories yet. We don't really want to fight. Well, I think they're going to be forced into it at this point, but they've, reformed this unit as almost as much as they can. This thing's up there. This is getting ready. There's just sort of a, they want to be fully prepared before they strike. Now, these infantry are in open order. These infantry are actually equipped with integral artillery, something I haven't seen in a while because of playing Saints in Armor so much. Those don't have them. And again, other things like salvo fire and stuff wouldn't be applicable. I don't think, no matter what, that this infantry can do much more than claim ground. It's very difficult for infantry to pin cav down and fight it in this system. Alright, one more turn. The peculiarities of the victory conditions in this one, and I just started the final turn, are really throwing it into a weird situation. Because we're in kind of a stalemate in terms of, neither side's completely routed the other. And one side may be doing much better than the other. I think the Protestants or the Swedes are doing quite well, actually. But the Catholics have to pick a unit first. They picked this guy. They've got everything in make ready. They're not in charge. They couldn't get into charge, and they failed to do anything with him. But their goal was kind of, hey, I don't want to activate one of my bigger commands because I want them to go as late as possible and try to drive the Swedes out of some of the terrain. So I want to hold off on them. That's going to kind of not pay off too well, I think, because these guys have to stop this infantry column somehow. And over here, though, I'm going to need these Spaniards to try to drive the Swedes out of here. I'm going to lose this no matter what. I don't think I'm going to be able to get those hexes. So I'm not going to get the full 45 points with the Catholics, no matter what. Which, since I spent 40 points to bring new units in, probably means I'm quite well behind. We'll see. Swedes moved their infantry up the hill. Got a continuation. The Catholics trumped that, but then couldn't get into charge. They're still not fighting this all out. They just firing with their arquebusters into there. But it looks like it's about over. The Swedes have one more activity over here with this command. Well, they have these guys too, but they're in receive charge. I wonder if I moved this up too quickly. Probably. I don't know. I'll leave him there. I don't think he got that many activations. These guys are going to want to try to take this location. Beyond that, I don't think there's much they can do. And we'll see what that engenders. Well, they only got one activation, couldn't get out of make ready. And now we're in this interesting situation. We only have one group left. They can maybe make it up to here, but maybe not. And other than that, we have the Catholics who don't have to worry about this hex anymore. So we may swing them and try to get them into play over here to disrupt this. I don't know. The terrain is really kind of screwing with this whole situation, in my view. We'll see. Okay, and the Spanish come around and manage to get some charges off. That doesn't do a lot. Then the Imperial troops here get into a charge. We get breakthrough. Actually destroyed one unit, but had another one of theirs destroyed, and then another one routing here. So they're not gaining a lot here. We've got one more thing left. I think that's it, which is the Swedish cav back here. Which, if I can get it into a different formation or get a continuation, I can get this hex. No such luck. So a couple of the hexes that looked like they should be Protestant victory condition hexes aren't going over. I was talking about it looks like 4 of the 9 are going to go to the Swedes, though. I think these were the 2 they wanted, not this one. We'll check. There wasn't anything they could really do about it in any case. They didn't make it up here. A little bit of gunfire going between these two hexes, but that's about it. Alright, I'll score this and then load it up. So just in terms of victory points for the field locations, and remember those are approximately equal. The Catholics got about 5 more points for that. And the casualties, we're at 171 Protestant or Swedish points and 117 Catholic. That's a 60-point swing there. If that was all we were talking about, we'd be talking about a historical Swedish victory. But when we add an extra 40 points in there, we're hitting right about there. So let's take a look. Plus 40. We're right in that range. Minus 117. 94. We slip a little below the decisive step. Doesn't matter much. Now I get to refresh all those units and leaders and everything and start the full battle. For whatever reason, the units, you know, there's no carryover or anything. There's no way to play a, oh yeah, we fought a little bit and then we came back and fought again scenario. The historical scenario starts with everything at full strength. Personally, I think it would make a little bit of sense if, like, I don't know, any lost units returned at half strength or something. Well, or half of them returned or something, I don't know, and that losses were reduced. 50% may be a little heavy though. I really don't know. I really don't know. It seems to me that units that were involved in a significant bit of fighting should have some penalty on them. I know that some of the great battles of history games say, oh yeah, there were velites fighting, you know, they've got a -1 to their morale initially, or they've taken cohesion hits to begin with, or whatever. It feels like there should be something along those lines, a chance that these leaders don't all come back. But I don't feel like making up rules or trying to guess what would be the right proportions there. So up this goes, and we'll do the historical battle. You know, whatever was lost here probably is kind of accounted for. At least I ended up in the historical victory, so no, there shouldn't be any big swing in terms of what happened. Up it goes.